Had to help him out. So I think we got the good man Fred in the building. Assuming we do. So we do got.
Is Mike muted?
Oh, is it?
Is Mike muted?
Oh, it wasn't. So he probably wasn't. Or maybe the voice.
Can you hear me now?
They go to boss man. They go to boss man. So we do got to. What happened?
I was making sure y'all can hear me.
Copy that. Yes, sir. So we do got another Washington football OG join us tonight. Former corner and current Red Wolves enthusiast Fred Smoot is checking in with the Trap or Die podcast. It's been a long time coming, Smoot. I'm excited to finally have you on and work through AJ obviously to make this happen. So Fred, how are you doing tonight, man? Everything good with you?
Hey, first of all, y'all are getting, this is a one in a lifetime interview. Y'all are getting Fred Smoot live. I stepped out for this interview, so I'll make sure I talk to y'all and talk a little trash to y'all. So I'm going to start off by ragging you a little bit. First of all, when you said we were going to Skype, I was like, man, I might well use a payphone to call this guy. I thought I was going to come out.
Oh no, man! Look! The Skype thing got to talk your trash. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know why people sleeping on Skype. Skype is a beautiful way to make sure everybody's on the call and get these conversations going. I don't know. Clearly, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He stepped outside to talk to us, and obviously we appreciate him for his time. Assuming he can hear us. As we gear up for another football season, Fred, let me ask you this. Back when you were playing, obviously outside of playing the game itself, what were some of the things you were looking forward to as you were going into another year as a pro player? Like what was those highlights of a season or off season that you got ready for when a new season came along?
Well, when that new season come, man, first of all, you know how cherished that is. A lot of people don't get to play a long time in this league. So every time, you know, you coming in the year and you know you probably finna make this team and get another year to live a dream, that's how you anxious to do that. But, you know, the thing is, the question is, what have you done 4 weeks before you report? That's the question. What have you done for your body? What kind of shape are you in? Did you actually get some rest? That's the thing about it. Sometimes we go so hard in the off season, you think you resting, but you're not really letting the body rest. So everything comes in full fold. And the one thing that you always know, no matter how good a team you had the year before, they will never be the same year in and year out. You know you're gonna have new teammates.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So because you mentioned about the previous years, and that was actually something that I thought about when I even asked that question. You ever had? Now I know this happens to everybody, man. It don't matter what level of football or what level of sports you're on. You have these thoughts. But what teams, I guess, would you have looked back and said, like, if you had done this or you have done that, not you in particular, I'm just talking about the team and that itself and how it moved. Like that season, your team could have been a problem that year. Like what year was that? Or like it don't even have to be Washington because you was in Minnesota too. So what year was that for you when you have those moments or thoughts?
It's a couple of times where we went on these runs. I always go back to my rookie year with Martin Schottenheimer. Marty had us going. We started off slow. I think we started off 4-5 and rattled off 7 or 8 straight wins. And we was doing this with Tony Banks at quarterback. All right, that's how much defense we have, and Stephen Davis could run the ball. I thought if they brought Marty back the next year, that we would continue to get better, and we would have eventually made the playoffs and kept making the playoffs. And the year, I think that was 07. I think that's the year Sean died.
Yeah.
We had a team that was a total problem that year, and we went to the playoff with Todd Collins, man. They just tell you the team at the time, man. So I have played squads, man, but I've always been at the mercy of my quarterbacks. I've never had what you call great quarterbacks, and when you don't have great quarterbacking for long stretches of time, you're not going to win for long stretches of time. But I did have Dante Culpepper for every bit of 2 quarters. He got hurt in our first game.
Every bit of 2 quarters.
I think it's me. I think the first quarterback jinx the NFL ever had. If I was on your
Man, hell nah. But I do have a question about Dante. But Dre, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys know, Dre and AJ know. I'm the youngin of the podcast. They, you know what I'm saying? They're a little bit older than me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put their age out there, but they're a little older than me. Did you have any? You had any thoughts about that Marty Schottenheimer year, Dre? About how things unfolded? Because obviously, I wish, like looking back at it and how the stories unfold, I wish we had Marty for a little bit of time, but clearly some things just didn't pan out.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
I
mean,
think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Marty year was I wanted to keep Marty so bad because it was just 1 year and they turned around that season after that Carolina game. It was like they looked like a team we hadn't seen for a few years, and it was only going to get better. We would have at least been San Diego what they were with Marty. So I mean, I would have kept them. But for Fred, I wanted to ask him because I remember that 04 season. That 04 season with Joe Gibbs' first year, the defense was really coming into their own that year. You could tell something special was brewing. And Fred had a hell of a year. That's when he entered free agency. But Fred, I wanted to ask you, what factored in your decision that year to enter free agency?
Well, yeah, we had a top 3 defense that year, and Greg had us humming, man. We was on point. But we didn't just lose me that year. We lost Antonio Pierce, who ended up winning the Super Bowl. Giants. We lost a lot of people from my class only because we were still paying standards. We were still paying people that weren't even on the team. We were so deep under the cap that the only deals they could offer me was so terrible that I was like, man, I got to make a decision. I don't want to leave. Like, so we wasn't arguing. So it wasn't never to a point where we got in there and we couldn't. We just went on the same page. They just didn't have any money under the cap at the time. So they couldn't give me the offer I wanted. And I told Coach, I'm going to go do what I got to do. But eventually I'll be back. And eventually I talked myself into coming back. I went, sat down with the front office in Minnesota, asked them would they trade me back to Washington. They said, yeah. If I talked to Washington, I called Coach Gibbs. And literally he worked everything out. And I was back in Washington within 24 hours.
Hey, that's sweet because you typically don't have those type of experiences for guys who get drafted by a team and leave in free agency and get the opportunity to reunite with the old coach and team. So that's dope. But curious question: outside of Minnesota that year, who else were you possibly thinking about signing with? Were there any NFC East rivals that were interested?
Well, the Cowboys was in the picture. I was going to.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
I was damned is not to listen. Also Pittsburgh, but the Minnesota, they kind of sold me because of the other guys that they was bringing in. Like that year when I signed with them, we got preseason, we was picked to win the Super Bowl. And that's because we had Kevin Williams and Big Pat Williams in the middle of that defense. We had me, Antoine Winfield, Darren Sharper. We had DBs. We had everything. And we was picked to win that thing. And Dante got hurt the second quarter of the year.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So what I wanted to ask you, Fred, coming out of Mississippi, your hometown, then getting drafted out of Mississippi State in 2001, you're a second-round pick. You're now about to join a team that has at the cornerback position in the cornerback room, Deion Sanders, Darrell Green, and Champ Bailey. But right before training camp or what have you, Deion decides to retire. But you're still in a cornerback room as a rookie with Hall of Famers, some of the greatest to ever play the position. How was that experience for you? Like, were you intimidated? Were you comfortable? Did they make you comfortable? Did they help groom you in any aspect? What did you take away from being around 2 Hall of Famers, 2 of the greatest to ever play the position?
I was around 3 because you got to realize Prime didn't actually retire for them 2 days until training camp started.
So you had the OTAs and minicamp.
Was, that's what I designed my game after. So meeting him from the door was kind of jaw dropping. I had just played in the SEC with Champ, so I was very familiar with Champ. And then you got the great Darrell Green in there. So I remember my first conversation with Marty Schottenheimer. What the hell did you draft me for? Like, what are you doing? And he was like, nah, the puppy's gonna start. You and Champ gonna be the starters. So I was like, well, damn. So not only am I gonna get to meet and learn from these guys, like he's putting me in that thing and giving me a chance to go win this position. So, that's all I wanted was a chance to go win a position. And, and the rest of it is history because I was starting by the first preseason game. So, and then not only, a lot of people don't know, my first number was 23. I wrote it for like a mini camp or two. And then D gave me 21 because he told me he was going to retire and then he was going to go play for the Ravens. So he gave me 20, gave me his Jordan cleats, gave me pretty much everything. I took his locker and everything. So that was jaw dropping for me to have my idol, basically say, "Here, replace me." And that was crazy. So by the time the season started, I had all the confidence I needed. I knew if
you got an interception game one.
And your swag was already up there.
Anywhere.
Hey, so as you can tell, Fred, AJ and Dre are holding it down for the years that I wasn't around, that I can't remember all the time, man.
I had a Fred Smoot jersey, man. I literally had a Smoot jersey, so I was a big fan.
Yeah.
That's all that means. That means you got good taste, brother.
Hey, so listen, man. So back when Clinton joined us early on, like a couple months back when we had just started this thing, right? And we had asked, actually, matter of fact, one of the viewers had asked, like, one of his, the common Sean Taylor stories and stuff like that. But the thing is, when he asked that question, we didn't know the answer that he was going to give, right? So initially he said he was talking about one day, like right before training camp or something like that, these fools took a trip from Virginia back down to Miami to go out on a night of drinking, going to the strip clubs, Henny, all that good stuff. And something happened where, I don't know what happened. They ended up making it back to Virginia. Point is, they did all that in one night, just simply got up, left, came back. When you're in the NFL as a pro, you get the money that you make. How much freedom do you really get? Like, is it that simple to go just start making moves and start doing whatever it is you want to do at the drop of a dime because you got it like that now?
I was just gonna say, it's literally at a drop of a dime. Like, if you can think it, that's why the off season is so dangerous. Because you sit around thinking about, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to Europe? Do I want to go to France? What do I want to do today? And when you have that ability to change the weather within 2 hours, without walking through the airport, without permission from anybody, without what's the name, all you need is a call from the right person or the right girl to call you. Yeah, we in the club and we in Houston. Oh yeah, we about 4 hours from Houston. We're gonna be there in no time. Like that's the whole thing. Like the world is your oyster, no matter if you're allergic to shellfish or not. Like the thing about it is when you want to do it, but as you get older, you start to tempt down on the being so spontaneous. You know what I'm saying? You try to put some thought into what you do instead of at the drop of a dime doing it then. But yeah, we got some very wild stories. Like I told him, I need to get me a show on Showtime where I can literally sit all the guys on the couch and they can actually open up about some of these real stories. See, I'm one of the few people that got caught up in the boat situation, so people know something.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Smoot? I want to connect you with my boy Master. He used to be a beat reporter for Washington Post for the Redskins, Washington football team. He now does a show with Bleacher Report,
yeah,
where he sits down with guys and talk about different things. I think it'd be hilarious. I mean, because I've kicked it with you. I've heard the different intricacies that we don't know to the public eye, and that shit is hilarious. But a lot of those things don't typically come out, but guys do it all the time. It's just that y'all situation came out. You feel me?
See, that's when they made a bigger story of it. Basically, it was a floating bachelor party. Like, ain't nobody been to a bachelor party or a strip club, and they blew it up. If we throw that same party in Miami, D.C., New York, L.A., you never hear about it because it was in the Midwest, in Minneapolis, and it happened to be, script was on a boat. Yeah, they like.
I'm about to say, who the hell? Anybody would want to be on that goddamn boat. What you talking about? Oh man.
That's why nobody even cared. Everybody was like, man, so what? It ain't like we had a Martian on the boat. Somebody that entered the earth illegally.
Absolutely. Hey, so look, one more question about the off season, just in general, man. Like, what is one thing during your prime? What was one thing that you just said, fuck it, I'm gonna be ignorant? Like, what was that one thing that you bought or that you spent money on, you say, I'm gonna go ahead and be ignorant with this one. I don't care. I'll make the money back.
Oh, all right. Well, one time, here go. I'm gonna give you a spontaneity, and I'm gonna give you a spontaneous buy. All right. One time, home to Jackson, Mississippi, and me and my homeboys just chilling, man. You know, when I go back home to Mississippi, Jackson, we just trying to slow down, chill in my old neighborhood. You know, drink, talk shit to each other, and then Clinton called me and said, "Hey, man, I'm throwing my All-Star weekend in Tallahassee." No, in Gainesville. But he said someone gonna be in Tallahassee. So I said, all right, forget it. I said, I'll come down there since I'm already in Mississippi. So I called the private bus company and I rent this big, gigantic private bus. And then I get on the radio in Jackson, Mississippi and say, whoever meet me in this grocery store parking lot in the next 2 hours can come with me to Florida for the weekend.
What?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Hey, that's what's up, dude.
Hey, so now I got like 40, 50, I'm talking about hood on the bus. We traveling. Listen, I had to pull up to the hotel and buy like 20 rooms, and we go down there and ball out for 2-3 days. But I promise you this, it was named the Soul Bus after that. And then after we left Gainesville, I literally rented 2 cars, and me and my other homeboys, we went to Miami for the rest of the trip, and we sent that damn bus back. They was too much, man. You can't shop around that many grown.
Hell yeah, especially all them people you don't know.
Oh no,
nah, that shit dangerous. Hell nah.
I knew it because you know when you grow up in the hood, man, you know other hoods. You know people.
Talking about Mississippi, yeah.
Wasn't nobody that I didn't know on that thing. Okay. But like I said, it was just one of those trips. I was like, do I regret this trip or did I actually have fun?
What did you have fun?
I'm about to say it depends on what you were drinking. You know what I'm saying? And the company.
Oh no, I had fun. You gotta realize with all these people on the bus, you know how much liquor and how much supplies. So we ain't got to pull over for nothing. We ain't got to pull over for nothing. So it was a crazy trip. And I could probably say my craziest buy is I literally ran into Allen Iverson one night at Dream, and we was kicking it at Dream. And when we came out of there, he had this black Rolls Royce Phantom. And we went and we partied the rest of the night, and I rode in it. I got up the next day, hungover and everything, and went to the Rolls Royce dealership. And I got
Hey, listen though. Hey, that gotta be an amazing feeling. Just I ain't gonna. I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. That's an amazing feeling. Talking about you can wake up and go buy that shit. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do something like that. I could wake up and buy a fucking a Toyota if I want to. I can't buy no. That's all I can do. God,
still gotta have a car note.
Right, exactly. Still gotta have the car note, bro. Hell. So.
Man, you play football when you like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with just dreams. So you put so many how should I say pro bono hours in that when you finally do get paid, it is your just due. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you literally put 15 years in it before you even know you got a chance or not. Like how many people do that? If I told you that's what you got to do for a job that 1% of the world gets to do, would you do it? How many people would do it? Because I don't know a lot of people do it. They want the end game. I don't think they're ready to put the front side of the game into it, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one thing, Fred, I wish fans could get more of a glimpse of, you know, when they make these ridiculous comments on Sundays after games or during games. Like, they don't understand how much sacrifice professional athletes put in to, you know, get to this point and sustain. Because like you said, a lot of people don't get privileged to have a longevity career in any league, whether it be NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, whatever. But yeah, man, it's definitely great that you enjoyed yourself in the career that you had. I know Maul said that was his last question, but I have one last question for you. In a little bit, we're about to have rookie cornerback Ben St. Juste on here. You being a top player at your position during your career, how do you feel about Ben St. Juste adapting to the NFL, and what do you like about his game? And do you possibly even see him starting this season for Washington football team?
That's so funny you asked me that because, you know, I be working with the team, so I had to do all the media. So I had to do his first interview after being drafted. And I love this kid. When y'all talk to him, ask him about them Jordans that he gave the Pope. He gave the Pope Jordans at the Vatican. So this kid, he saw a lot, he's seen a lot, and he's done a lot. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, not to toot my own horn. He reminds me of me coming out of college. He's just taller, but when I came out of college, I was considered at 6'1.5", a tall corner. All right, very tall, very skinny. He's very tall, very skinny, but he's very quick in the inside, and he can play outside corner. He can play slot. He can play free safety. He can play strong safety. Mark my word, this kid has a chance to be the defensive rookie of the year. Yeah, I said it. That good. And you know who has the record for the most interceptions as a rookie? That's me. All right, and who got?
Talk your shit, Fred.
Consecutive season leading the team in interceptions. That's me. Now, this is the first time that I feel threatened. I feel totally threatened by this guy to break all of those records. And if he break them, hey, so be it. I'm there with him.
Hey, so listen, Dre, before cause Fred's been good to us, man. We definitely appreciate your time. Dre, did you have anything? For after Dre goes, we do have a couple viewer questions for you. It's two of them. I want to make sure that they get these out the way. But Dre, you got anything for Fred?
I got one more thing for Fred, and this is something that Jamal, you need to learn too. Fred, there's a difference between Fred and Ben St. Juice coming out of college. Fred had the best website of any rookie I ever seen, smootsmack.com. Fred, did you run that site?
I ran that site and I did that. And you know what? I sold myself short because if you look at what the criteria for what Twitter is, I started Twitter with smootsmack.com. It was the first on that let people interact verbally and have verbally spars. I started that. And see, if I'd have went to Vanderbilt, I'd probably be on the Twitter now, not talking to y'all about just being loud between things. But yeah, and it makes it funny too. Now that the kids can get really, really paid in college, I could just only wonder how much money I would have made in college because I had already majored the art of putting myself out there and broadcasting things and grabbing an attention. So, you know, now things finna go to a whole different level. So watch a lot of high school coaches get fired because now college makes them money. So now it's gonna be a lot of ex-football players actually being your high school coaches.
So with that being said, Fred, there was two questions. We can knock both of them out at the same time. The first one, my boy Rye, I did not ignore you, Rye. I saw it the entire time. He wanted to know if your 40 time was still up there. But secondly, my other boy Nick just asked during your time again, during your playing days, who was where is it at? He was like, who was your toughest receiver to guard? Toughest and easiest, I guess. I mean, you are in the business of shit talking, so I guess the easiest one is something that you can mention too. But yeah, that's what he wanted to know.
Hey, the easiest ones is the ones that got quarterbacks like Nate Peterman. Like the end of the day, if you have no quarterback, you have no chance against good cornerbacks. And that's why I tell people, most of the time, my squabble is not with the wide receiver. It's with the offensive coordinator and the quarterback. All right, because if you have Randy Moss, but you got Patrick Ramsey throwing him the ball, Randy ain't got a chance. But if now you get Brett Favre throwing the ball, now that's going to be different. So the wide receivers, man, now it's some freakish guys out there, man. It's the Randy Mosses of the world, the T.O.s of the world, the David Bostons of the world, the Reggie Waynes, the Steve Smiths. These guys going to give you hell Sunday in and Sunday out. So it just going to happen. But it's they at the mercy of their quarterback, though. They always at the mercy of their quarterback, just like I'm at the mercy of my pass rush. Now, what was their first question?
The first, the second part was more so who was the toughest one to guard, or is it simply just it just all depends on that defensive line that you got?
It's always depends on the quarterback. The quarterback dictates the play. Okay. The quarterback, a great quarterback throw out routes out of bounds. The receiver always catches him with his feet in bounds with the ball out of bounds. Bad quarterbacks throw that out route where I can go pick it off. See, that's the difference in the art of the game that most people don't understand. So it's all about the quarterback. And I tell people, if they made it to the NFL, they ain't got to be Randy Moss. They can give you hell on any given Sunday. That 1% that make it to the NFL, all these guys can play. Some guys just get more opportunity than others. But from the guy that you don't know his name to the guy that's been in 10 Pro Bowls, they all can give you hell.
All right. And
hey, Fred, I want to ask him another question because he was talking about quarterback play. Yeah. How do you feel about Ryan Fitzpatrick being the starting quarterback?
Oh,
because it sound like Ryan Fitzpatrick is the perfect type of guy. If you were still playing the league, you would like to face because you would have a lot of opportunities at running that thing back with pick six.
Well, you know what? I did pick out Ryan Fitzmagic. So how you feel about it?
Hey,
you around 18
I'm not
years.
surprised how long you've been in the league and so many teams. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I picked him off, but I picked off a younger version of Ryan. This older version of Ryan actually is pretty damn good, and he can flat out play. Don't forget the guy got benched in Miami for winning too much. So that tells you a lot about him and where he's at. And he's in the top, hey, believe this or not, he's in the top 5, top 6 in QBR and completions in the last 3 years of his career. He's got better. It's like wine. He's getting better. But I got something that I feel, as much as I know Ryan is going to help us win and he's going to be that guy, you know, sometimes in football, it's all about the story. I feel a Kurt Warner type story happening with Tyler Hienicke. I just feel if Ryan Fitzmagic missed just 1 or 2 games, he'll never get his job back again. I feel that Tyler Hienicke would get in there and really become Kurt Warner of the Washington football team. Yes, the guy that comes out of nowhere that was bagging groceries that turns into a Hall of Famer. I gotta feel it.
So I actually featured, because somebody had mentioned that in the news or quoted you, and we had talked about this some time ago. And I think one of the things that I would ask you at this point, because I was going to ask about Fitzpatrick in the ceiling with this team with him, but I guess if you compare the two, and for your opinion, Taylor Hienicke, Fitzpatrick, which team led or which quarterback led team has the higher ceiling for 2021? Is it that Taylor Hienicke team in your opinion, or is it Fitzpatrick?
And that's so funny because they the same exact guy. One a right shoe and one a left shoe, but they both Jordans. Like they have the same. They both can make some plays outside the pocket, but they're not the fastest. They both anticipate passes really well, and they both gamers. So you know they are the same. You got to just ask yourself: do you want a more experienced version, or do you want the younger version? And I think that's the only thing that separates them. But I just think, and I just got a feeling around week 7, week 8, Hienicke is gonna get in the game, and we gonna wonder why he never was playing in the first place.
Now, I'm stumped, but I'm not. I don't disagree. I feel like based on what we saw the last couple of weeks of the season, that's definitely true. I think that the biggest hesitancy, obviously, is what you said, is the experience part. Like, how can we all really bank on, what we saw for a brief period? But at the same time, Fred, you mentioned the opportunities part, and opportunities are hard to come by in the NFL. So I guess I think one of the things that we have to pay attention to is training camp and preseason. Like, if Ron Rivera really preaches about how important competition is, it's going to be undeniable for him to keep Hienicke at number 2 if he is really outperforming Fitzpatrick. If he preaches this thing about competition, I think it's going to be hard.
But we will see, though. That's the great thing about it, man. Football is right around the corner, man. This is usually the month that people get divorced because there ain't no choice. So at the end of the day, I'll see right now, and I can't wait, man. I think this is gonna be the best group of Washington football players since D. Green, Joe Theismann, and the rest of those guys when they win a Super Bowl. I think this group is better than my group. I think they built the right way with the big boys first, and I just think they're going to be special, and they're going to only get better every time we watch them play. So the next 10 years is going to be a good grace period for the Washington football fans.
Absolutely. Fred, man, I definitely appreciate your time and the time that you give us, the opportunity you're giving us. We've been trying this for a couple of weeks now, and obviously, we made it happen. Finally. I don't know what the issue is with Skype that you got, you know what I'm saying? But I think things worked out today.
Restaurant and crunked his payphone up, and now everything went through like it was supposed to go through. It's fine, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. But definitely enjoy the rest of your night, my brother, and I'm definitely looking forward. Matter of fact, plug everything that you got going on, because obviously we know you got a podcast too. But before you get out of here, let everybody know where they can hear you, man.
Hey, man, I got everything going on, man. I'm everywhere when it comes to talk, man. Me, Zave, and Chick Hernandez got a new talk show coming out. It's a sports show. I'm all over the Washington team stuff. And I'm going to plug where I'm at right now. Proper 20.
That's where I'm at. Proper 21?
Yeah.
Okay, you gonna be doing a live broadcast from Proper 21?
I don't know, but I put it like this. Most of the time when I'm around stuff, I got some interest in it.
I already know. Shout out to my man Harrison.
Mm-hmm. You already
and
know.
Thomasina.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All over
So
here
y'all
name dropping and shit.
Thank y'all,
Man.
fellas. Man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Hey,
man.
man,
Take care,
appreciate
big
you,
dog.
Ooh.
All right. So there was Fred Smoot, man. Obviously